And we're live.
Yay!
Yeah, we'll end this when Edge gets his up and going, or before Edge gets his up and going tonight.
Yeah, that's fun. I'll probably ask for a link to his as well.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what his topic's going to be tonight. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. I did want to talk about one thing they were talking about on the radio today, and I actually saw it in the Patriot. I think it was Patriot. I can't remember the name of the.
I think I know what you're going to be talking about.
The Papa John's.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going.
Yeah, Papa John's is not firing an employee, which
I think that
is cool.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and this happened in Georgia. It's just, the city name starts with D. I cannot think of the name of the city.
I'm not sure.
But this, it doesn't matter the sex, but it was a female. A female delivery driver was making a delivery. When she gets out of the car, she gets basically stuck up at gunpoint and forced to the ground. And then somebody carjacks the car. They rob her, and somehow she managed to get a firearm that she had in her pocket out and shoot the guy from the ground in the face. And that's the situation. That's awesome. They caught the guy that got shot in the face, which I'd expect. I mean, kind of hard to disguise a gunshot wound to the face.
Yeah.
And Papa John's does have employees are not allowed to carry firearms rule in their thing, so Papa John's legally had all the right in the world to fire.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad they didn't. I'm so glad they didn't.
And I do have to commend Papa John's for not firing him, or firing her, I should say.
Yep.
But it does leave open now for other employees, even though they still have this law that you can't carry a firearm on the job. It leaves it open for employees to carry a firearm because, if it's like don't ask, don't tell situation. If you don't get caught with a firearm, they can't fire you. So.
Well, no, I don't think it's that they can't fire. It's that they won't fire you if you use it in a defensive.
Yes. Now, if a situation happened very similar to what happened to that lady, that she gets, if that person gets robbed making a delivery and they use that gun in self-defense, if Papa John's does fire that employee for doing that, they just set a precedent that they're not going to fire the employee. So you can look at that as a major lawsuit against Papa John's.
Oh, I agree, but you also have to think it's in a personal vehicle out on a delivery where away from the business.
Yep.
The brick and mortar business. If someone would be carrying inside the building, I think that's a different story.
If it's inside the building, it's a completely different story.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone should be able to carry at work, but I know where I work, I can't. I mean, well, it's legal for the in the state to do it, but my company, I can't. So it's in their bylaws.
Well, that all comes down to liability, and businesses want to be liable.
Yep.
So I understand why they have in the provisions. I got to hand it to Papa John's, and Sunday I'm going to order myself a pizza from Papa John's.
Oh, Papa John's pizza is awesome.
Yeah, I've always liked them, but I stopped buying their pizza. When did Bob Costas make that silly rant on Monday Night Football? Or Sunday Night Football, I should say. Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, because it was shortly after Sandy Hook. It was like a week or two after Sandy Hook.
No, it wasn't. It was before Sandy Hook because it was that Chiefs player.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was.
But still, I think it was in the 2012 season, though.
Yeah, it was 2012. So whatever that was, and Costas went on a rant. Papa John's a major sponsor. I'm boycotting Papa John's, and I called their corporate office and told them why I'm boycotting. Even though I was buying Papa John's pizza before then about once a month, I stopped doing it. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to go into the store, and I'm going to tell the manager exactly why I bought a pizza.
Yep. Yep.
You know, they need to be you know, when companies do the right thing, they need to be commended and, you know, at least explain why you're doing business with them.
Exactly.
You know, we are very vocal about that. We will tell a business why we're not shopping there.
We tell them who we are.
And we have to tell businesses why we are shopping there.
Exactly. Yeah. Too bad the closest Papa John is probably about an hour away from me.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
4 miles. Not even 4
Ugh.
miles, but I'll round it up to 4 miles.
Heck, back in college, I'd have Papa John's like 2-3 times in a week because I could eat Papa John's and buy a pizza and eat on it for 2 or 3 days for $10. Heck, poor college student, that's living life. It's living high.
Yes, it is. But I just wanted to make sure people are aware of that because we got 6 people viewing. I know it's not a whole lot,
That's good.
but people will watch us about an hour long chat, and at least it starts out with a good story.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this off air. I can't remember if you were in that chat or not last night, but
No, I wasn't.
yeah, the police officer that ended up shooting his finger off at a gun store is suing the gun store. And if you haven't seen the video,
I've seen the video. The idiot.
yeah, I'm just going to describe the video. You can find the video if you want. And I'm sorry, I'm not posting links to any of this stuff.
That's all right.
Because I'm in Firefox and stupid me closed the windows out. Now I'm just in the stupid tabless
Here.
thing on Firefox. But I go post it over at gun channels.
I'll try to get it.
All right, thanks. But I'll describe the video in short. You know, looks like the police officer. He looked like he was in uniform. Goes up to the gun counter, talks with the clerk behind the counter, and points to a gun. Asks to see it. You know, the gun. You know, the clerk takes the gun out and hands it over to the police. You know, just takes the gun out. Doesn't say if you check it. Hands it over to the police officer. The police officer starts playing around with the gun. He did not check the gun at all. He did not rack the slide or anything either. And then starts waving it around the store, basically, you know, at people, unsafe directions.
Is it a semi-auto?
I can't tell you the gun. I just know it was a 380.
Yeah, it's a semi-auto. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I just can know. I know it's a semi-auto. I just can't tell you the name, the brand.
No idea.
Yeah, I just know it's a 380. Then he proceeds to stick his fingers in front of the muzzle, fondling the gun more, and then you can see his fingers, his hand, or I should say his trigger finger, go onto the trigger with his finger still in front of the barrel, and he pulls the trigger.
Yep. And the thing is number one, why was he playing around with it, with the magazine in?
Why was he playing around with the gun, period, without safety checking it?
Also very true.
And why was he waving it around, and there are other customers in the store, and they definitely muzzle slept, the ones you can see in the video, including the guy behind the counter.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know about you, but as soon as I get a gun from one of those stores, I check it, drop the mag, and I never wave it in front of someone. There's no way.
And the video is pretty graphic too. I mean, even though it's a security camera footage, you can see the mist of blood.
Oh yeah. Hey Bob, we're talking about this video I want to put in the internal chat.
Is that where the cop shoots his finger off?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
Can't hear you, Bob, which is a good thing.
I can hear him.
Why can't you hear me?
We can hear you. We're just not choosing to.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you my practice, whether, this happens wherever I am, whether it be at a big box store or my favorite gun shop in town. I see the clerk taking out of the counter, and if they do not safety check it, I tell them to safety check it. This normally happens at the big box stores, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I tell them to safety check it, and as soon as they hand it over to me, I safety check it. I leave the magazine in the gun because normally I rack it back and keep it racked back while I look around and look at the gun, and then I, release the slide.
Yeah.
And then I ask politely if I can dry fire it. All the time, this gun is either pointed at a back wall where there's nobody, or at the floor.
Well, I mean, I really don't like going to big box stores and handling firearms because usually there's so many people around you can't find a spot where there's not a person.
It's harder in the big box stores. Yeah, it is very true. But I always do that, and then I ask if I can dry fire it. And even before I dry fire it, I rack the slide back again and make sure. Do like a half check anyway.
Yeah.
Dry fire it. Then I lock the slide back and hand it back over to the person with the slide open.
And if I ever dry fire a weapon in a store, the magazine is not in it as I rack the slide, and I check and make sure visually that no magazine, and I look inside the chamber and make sure I see nothing.
Yeah, I don't. I check the magazine from the top. That's how I do it anyway. So if you can see brass in there. So
yeah. But I mean, that's just how I do it. It's how I've done it for a while, and it's just
yeah, no problem with that. I just want to make sure the gun locks back with the magazine in, and make sure that it goes forward with an empty magazine as well.
Yep.
Looks like Edge is going to start it in an hour.
Yeah, he starts roughly around 9. Edge, make sure you send me a link. When I get. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, I have a link.
Woohoo! You putting that link in there saved me. Because then I can open Firefox back up.
Oh, you talking about for the police officer shooting him?
Yep. So I should get back to gun channels and only keep Firefox open.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna go out tomorrow and shoot this AR, sight it in. I'll probably take my Remington 700 and adjust the scope a little bit, and then hopefully my buddy can get permission from his wife to go shooting, because I've had some 22 250 loaded up for him for a while, but he needs to shoot. I've probably had it loaded up for about 6 months.
yeah, I'd love to go to the range tomorrow. It's going to be in the upper 30s.
Yeah.
Only problem is I only have that 100 rounds I bought tonight for spare, and that's going to my bug-out bag.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm slowly stocking back up. Every time I get 100 rounds, I want to go out to the range. That's my problem.
Get into reloading. It helps you stockpile. I probably have between 5,000 and 6,000 9mm up in my room.
I know. And if buy 2, shoot 1,
yeah, definitely.
That's what I've been trying to do, but since this fall, money has been very, very tight, so it's don't even have that option right now. It's
Just sales have gone down on your body pictures on eBay.
no, I'm not going to get into the whole story here, Bob.
I bought 15 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Targets.
Yeah, I heard Fox bought a whole stack.
They make for good interactive targets.
Hey, but I'm going to have at least 200 rounds spare set aside in my bug-out bag.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Seal
Yeah.
them up in plastic, though. I like vacuum seal them so they won't get damp.
What I'm doing is I put them in the Ziploc bags with a desiccant,
Yeah.
and then I just squeeze all the air out I can. I don't have a Ziploc, I don't have a vacuum seal thing, so
Oh, have you ever
they go
find-
in the Ziploc bag, and then they go into actually it was a camera lens case that I'm throwing the rounds into, so they're protected from sharp objects poking into them.
Mm-hmm. You know what I got that's really cool? I got the vacuum sealer, but I also get these. You can get these bags at where I used to work, and they're for when you're buying molding and it's raining, right? So
Yeah.
they're just the right diameter to put a gun in, and then you vacuum seal them. A couple of bags of desiccant. It's good for 100 years
Oh
because
yeah.
it's heavy
Nice.
plastic. It's like heavy 6 mil, eh?
I would take and lube it up real nice and
Oh yeah, give
stick
it
it
a
in
good
there and
yeah.
dip it in a vat of cosmoline before you do it.
I don't even know if I'd
I'm
worry
just
about the
messing.
cosmoline. I'd probably just
I'm
spray it
messing.
with like some kind of gun lube and
Oh
throw
yeah,
it in there.
I'm totally messing with you. The only reason they use cosmoline is because it wasn't vacuum sealed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll
I've
put
had
an
cool.
inch thick petroleum byproduct on the guns to preserve them.
Well, that's something like Yankee probably does regularly, but that's just for insertion.
Yeah, of course. I was about to say the same thing. So we need to ask him whenever he gets his Beretta 92 back from Wilson if he's going to start colon carrying.
Yeah, that's about the only way you could conceal it. That's a pretty chunky gun. Like my Browning's smaller than that.
Yeah.
Well,
I've only handled Beretta 92s. I've never shot them.
Mm.
And they just don't feel quite right in my hand.
Yeah, they just look chunky as hell. That's all I think. Yeah. Too much going on.
they're nice. I think they're nice range guns. You know, I don't understand they're nice duty guns. They're just never
That's
been my
your
cup
Chris.
of tea. I've always liked SIGs a little bit better. I like the trigger. The trigger's better, which people look at me a little strange. I just like them better. Although every time I shoot this this PPX, I'm like, damn, that's a nice trigger for a $280 gun.
Oh, I can't wait to get my Blackhawk, man. Because they're supposed to have a pretty phenomenal trigger, and I'm going to compare that to my Browning. And it's going to be like, ooh, who's got the better trigger? But, I mean, nice thing with that Blackhawk is I can shoot my 9 mil out of it, so, I mean, I've got really cheap range rounds.
And me could ask you a question. Was there like a desiccant thrown in with the ammo to remove any of the moisture that might have been trapped in there? You know, what are those little packages you get in like tennis shoes and stuff like that?
Yeah. Like with those, I always heat those up. You know, if I grab them from tennis shoes, because you never know how long they've been sitting in there. And
Well, you throw them in your oven at a low temperature.
Well, what kind of temperature? Like 150?
oh, it has to be hot enough to evaporate the water.
Yep. So you're looking at
So-
212.
Okay.
A lot of people put it in about
You know,
250 for about 2 hours, and then you're fine.
you got to make sure that the paper doesn't start on fire.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which I think is like 400 degrees for paper. So,
Oh, yeah, that's okay then.
Because I do the same thing. I actually got a few extras laying around in my ammo cans that I'm not using that I got to throw in there.
I got big handfuls of them in the bottom of my gun safes that aren't being used right now.
Well, I got a goldenrod for my gun safe, but I went ahead and I ordered probably 30 or 40 of those desiccant packs, and I just keep them in a vacuum sealed bag right now until I need to use them, and I'll open them up. And
Are those the ones that change color?
No, they do not. But I do have one. And before I got my goldenrod, I did have a canister once, probably like this big, about that big around, that's made for my safe that it changed color. But heck, if I'd go by the changing color, I'd have to swap it out and stick it in the oven every week.
Yeah.
So I put the goldenrod in there, and I kept the other one in there. I charged it every now and again, but
A goldenrod for safe is, well,
yeah,
worth it. Even though it needs a little trickle of energy, it is so worth it.
you don't. I've never even noticed
Right.
anything
Yeah, some people are just afraid it's going to be like incandescent light bulb in the safe.
Oh no.
And it's not. It's like an LED light bulb type thing.
Yeah.
Draws so amperage.
Let's just say if you keep your cable box on all the time, they'll use 2 to 3 times more power than that goldenrod would.
Yep.
And whoever turns your cable boxes off. So.
I don't have cable. Or satellite.
Yeah. I did that for about 4 or 5 months over the summer, and I was like, which was fun over the summer because I was getting outside. But once winter started to come in, I was like, oh, screw this. I went back, and I actually got more channels for about $60 less than what I was paying for it. So that's good.
Yeah, well, for me, I just get, the regular channels and then Netflix, and then you can watch a lot of stuff online.
Yeah. But, like, stuff for the CW and, like, Walking Dead and stuff like that, you can't watch them online unless your cable provider is subscribed to them. So, at least that's how it is here.
Yeah, well, I understand that. There's a lot of, on-demand stuff, but the stuff I watch, buddy of mine DVRs The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love me some Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so, those are the 2 big cable shows I watch, so.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to have cable for just those 2 shows.
Oh, I totally agree.
So that's always cool for him to do that for me. And then, everything else, Netflix just put Z Nation on this month, so I'm going to watch some Z Nation after I'm done watching Friends. And yes, I know I'm watching Friends.
What show?
Z Nation.
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Dano's back.
I'm back. So what the hell is Z Nation?
That's what I'm asking.
I can't tell you exactly what it is because I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard Matt talk about it, Yankee talk about it, I think.
It's a really hilarious zombie TV series. It's not nearly as real and gritty as The Walking Dead, but it's gory and it's funny in its own way. It's pretty good, in other words. If you just suspend disbelief and laugh at it.
Okay, so it's a sillier version of Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I was looking for.
So Dan, are you ecstatic that Magpool's coming out with G17 mags?
Well, until I actually see one, I couldn't say one way or another. I mean,
if they work for what, $15 retail?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty damn good if they work.
Exactly. And no one will know. I mean, obviously Magpul has its reputation of not making junk.
That's true.
But that doesn't mean everything they make is a stellar design either.
Yep. But I'm going to be looking into their Remington 700 short action chassis.
Right. I think it has potential, and there's obviously a market out there because right now you've just got the Glock mags, which are Cadillac mags, and then you get the Korean crappy ones. Which
I just wish that Metgar or Magpul or someone else would start making more mags for pistols because having to go factory all the time, I just don't like it.
Right. And I don't see why that they couldn't. Magpul is already, obviously using steel springs for the mags. That they couldn't have what I'll call a standard version and a premium version of the mag. Let's say for those that absolutely want a steel-lined mag.
Yeah.
And just simply put a steel sleeve on the inside, and of course there's going to be priced appropriately. So you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but it would be less than whatever Glock is asking. And then, of course, their entry-level model, which would be all polymer except for the spring, which would still be steel, of course.
Yeah, if they'd ever go to Smith & Wesson, I wonder how that would be, because Smith & Wesson already has steel mags. They don't, so it's not thick enough for polymer. Since I would assume polymer would need to be thicker than steel.
Right. Yeah, that's, to make up for polymer's lack of strength, regardless of its formulation, it has to be thicker. I mean, it's just, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
I mean, although, plastic is getting stronger and stronger all the time, it will never be steel.
Yeah. Or aluminum or titanium or whatever is out there.
Yeah.
By the way, Daniel, how do you like your glow-in-the-dark dildo?
What?
Your True Night. Your True Night T10.
Are you referring to my the flashlight that I won in a giveaway from Artisan Tony?
Yes.
Actually, I do like it.
Your lightsaber?
What I like about it is, and it's hard to describe why this would be such a big deal is that flashlights have always been, at least to be bright, the ones that were bright enough were always just a little bit too big, that when they were in my pocket, I always knew they were in my pocket because of their size or their weight. Is I can have that thing in my pocket and actually forget that it's in my pocket because it's that small and that light.
And the ladies don't even notice.
There you go. But yet it still has enough, wattage, or lumens, as they now like to call it, that it will certainly do everything I would ever want to do. I mean, it's just has as many lumens as my Streamlight TLR4, which is 130. I mean, unless you're doing police work or contractor work or in the military or something like that, I don't know why you would need 500 lumens for 1,000 lumens. Unless you're doing
better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like one of those fishermen that goes, gigging for frogs out in the middle of the night, well, then you want a spotlight. This is not going to, do that sort of work.
Yep.
So, but like I said, I won it in a contest. I also like that it has a metallic body rather than a plastic body, and it's not because I'm some super duper operator. It's just that I have a tendency sometimes to bang things against or drop them and stuff, things like that, and eventually I would drop it and plastic ones break.
Yeah, well, last night I went ahead and ordered myself one. I had to just get my Bing rewards for it, and I'm like, I need those survival blankets anyway, and some Espet fuel cubes.
No,
Yeah,
what it isn't.
I need them.
A self-defense
I
light.
have them.
Okay, Bob. The emergency blankets were 10 for $6.35.
What the True Night doesn't have is it's
Generally
not only
about $1 each, right? 99 cents a piece.
Oh, less than that. It's like 50 cents a piece.
Yeah.
No, they were, they're 63 cents.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not much.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, no, but yeah, do you need 10 of them? I figure you need like one for each bug out bag.
Well, I got the same package that Quark does, and I have 4 or 5 sitting in my car because I never know who's going to be with me. If I have 2 or 3 friends, I'm not going to grab one and say, "Sorry guys, you should have packed one."
Yeah, I already figured.
I would do that if I only had one, but that's just because I'm a bastard, and I'm old, so it makes sense that I should.
Yeah, Bob, for me, when I was doing it locally, the cheapest Mylar, Mylar blankets I could find were $4.
Yeah.
Plus,
For
you
one.
probably need 2, right? Just to get around you, right, Quark? One for the top part, one for the bottom part.
They're high enough for me. I might have a gap in the back, kind of like a hospital gown.
Yeah, they're only like 3 feet wide. You'd never be able to wrap that around you. You'd have to go the other way where it's like 6 feet and wrap that around. And
pretty much. So I'm gonna have like 4 in my bug-out bag and the rest will go in my car.
yeah, I was trying to insult you and you just kind of let it go completely. It's just I'm disappointed in that.
Oh, don't worry. We've already had a conversation about this whenever I brought it up to him last week or the week before that. Yeah. So.
Well, what I was trying to say, that I don't know if it ever, or maybe everybody just ignored it, is what the flashlight doesn't do, or it's not capable of doing, is it cannot be used as an impact weapon. So
that is
true.
True.
That part of it, that's a downside, because it's just like when you see a gun video and all they talk about is the good parts about it. Everything has pros and cons.
Yeah.
Sometimes an advantage of being small can be a disadvantage as well.
This one, it's a Steam Light or Streamlight ProTac 2L. It has a 30 millimeter body and 2 CR 123s, and it's 100 lumens. And I put this in my pocket, and I can, unless it hits my phone or something like that, I don't even know it's there.
Right.
I love it. So.
I mean, and if it's in my pocket and I don't even know that it's there, I'm much more likely to keep it with me all the time.
Well, right now I carry around a 2AA Bushnell T230, I think it is, or something like that, or T210, whatever. It's Walmart exclusive Bushnell flashlight that. And it's 10 months old. I've had this thing for 10 months now, and it's still working. It's amazing the amount of hell I put this flashlight through, because I'm just tough on flashlights. Any flashlight I break. So I'm like, before I end up breaking this flashlight, I'm going to throw it in my bug-out bag, so I need a replacement.
Yeah.
Because it's running on its year-long warranty. I'm like, knowing my luck, this is going to break on me, at 12 months and 3 days or something like that. And it's just going to be like, I'm shit out of luck. So I ended up ordering the T10. I got the black version, not the stainless steel. We'll see how long that lasts in my pocket.
Yeah, but everybody's bug-out bag should have one of the flashlights that also charges your cell phone. That's got the little crank on it, because you've always got power. It's LED, so it never breaks. But if you get a good one, it's got a decent crank on it, and you can charge your phone with it, as well as, it has a light on it. Some of them have radios in them, like just emergency weather radio kind of thing.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at a bag as...
I could definitely see that if it's not shit hits the fan, but...
You're right.
Like if your car broke down or something like that, yeah, I could definitely see that.
That's something I do want to add eventually as like my secondary flashlight. I can get rid of this cheap multi-tool with this teeny tiny little flashlight on there, but that Bushnell is going to my bag because it also has a red light. So it's great for the option of having low light.
That's nice.
And then it's got a blue light as well for blood tracking.
You want to know something about red light? A buddy of mine goes out hog hunting on his land, and they don't see the red light. He'll walk up on a pack of hogs with that red light, and he'll just start picking them off. So if any of you guys hog hunt, I want to try that out.
No, that's
Carry the boar spear just in case.
No,
What did you say, Court?
Yeah,
be ready with that the boar spear just in case.
Yeah, my buddy walked up on him with a 30-30, and I was like, "Why were you taking a 30-30 hog hunting?"
Yeah.
By the way, Bob, there's an internal thing for you from Mika.
Oh, okay.
So you want to read that, like the last little bit of it? Bob, those are your cars, etc.
What?
He said,
There's a comment in the side, Bob.
Those are my cars. No. Those are my boss's cars, or not my brother's boss's cars. They're actually, you can't really see it, but they got pigeon shit all over them. And those
I
are
was,
real. Well, no, the Cobra's not real, but the GT40 is real.
I was just going to
I was
ask,
gonna say,
that's a real GT40? Damn.
Yeah, that's a real GT40, 67 302, made in England. It's got the steering wheel on the wrong side, the whole 9 yards. 200
Which
miles an hour, the thing will go.
Which manufacturer made that?
Well, Ford did what was like Ford England kind of thing. It was Shelby, right?
Yep.
Basically, it's
It's
Shelby was
Shelby, yeah.
involved in it because they wanted
Now,
to beat Ferrari.
did you ask your brother's boss if that car runs better than Jeremy Clarkson's?
Oh yeah, well no, that's a completely different car. Like this car doesn't have windows. This car has a little vent thing you turn that you can talk out of.
Yeah, I
It's got,
know
like,
that. I know that. I was joking.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, this thing runs really well, but I mean, the amazing part is, like I say, in this same coverall building, there's a 427 Thunderbolt drag car. There's a slingshot Hemi powered dragster, and they're all being shit on by pigeons because this guy just goes, they're cars. You know, he's got a Merlin engine for a Spitfire in the corner that's all rebuilt and all covered up.
ooh, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
and
a car is not a hammer.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, man. He's got this is what he's doing. You see I don't know. Maybe you can't see it from here.
The turd-looking
One
one.
of the pictures had a black pickup truck, and it's just beautiful, like '69 Ford pickup truck. Beautiful black, just body works perfect on it. Things straight as an arrow. He's going to put a turbine helicopter engine in it. So he's got the helicopter engine already. It's all redone. He's just got to bolt it into this pickup truck.
Quick question:
That's nuts.
What's that fourth vehicle? The one that looks like a turd. Right after the T-Bird.
T-Bird.
Yeah.
That might be that Mercury, a 40s Mercury sitting there. It's all there. It's unmolested, but it's sat outside for 20 years and sat in the barn for another 20, and yeah, it's just bizarre shit, man. He's got the coolest stuff ever.
At least I'd throw something over the
Over
The
the
open-
Cobra, it's got leather seats that have pigeon shit on them.
I know. That's what I'm saying. At least I'd throw something. I don't want to sit in pigeon shit.
He doesn't care. Here's this guy. He's a multi-millionaire, and he dresses like a bum.
Well, that's how he became multimillionaire. He doesn't spend his money.
Oh, he spends his money like you wouldn't believe. Like the next coverall next to that, he's got 2 of those big bus campers. These like $70,000 rear engine buses that are turned into a camper. Well, the first one he bought was okay, but he didn't like it that much. So the next year he bought an even fancier one. So it's parked next to that one, and he's only ever used them once each.
And you could see that drag car there in the back as well.
Oh, probably, yeah. That's that rail. Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing is absolutely neat. It's the old style slingshot dragster, right, with a Hemi. He wants to put what the hell was he going to put in that? He was going to put one of his camera engines. He's got 2 of those 427 overhead cam engines. One's in his Cobra, and the other one he's probably going to put in this rail.
Robbie wants to know what motor is in the Cobra.
427, but it's an overhead cam. It's not a pushrod motor. It's an overhead camera. One of
What he
1,000 made.
He needs to put that helicopter engine on that rail car.
It's going to be cooler in the pickup truck, believe me. No, the rail car, because it's a slingshot dragster, right? He does that for nostalgia drags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like, you can't compete with the rear engine stuff. So.
Acceleration's too damn slow.
It is a hoot, right? But it is an early 1960s dragster that was built and campaigned in Canada in the 60s, and he's just, he saves these things. Finds them, buys them, saves them. Him and his one other buddy of his, they've got one of the earliest drag cars ever built in Canada, still running, and it's Angelina. It's I don't know. It kind of looks like this weird. It's some kind of weird English sedan, and it's right now it's running a 406 Lincoln engine, blowing Lincoln engine. And it runs nostalgia drags. It does like 2 or 3 drags a year, and just does one run as a kind of because it's the oldest Canadian drag car going. Yeah, that's kind of shit he does, but he's just got so many projects. And he's 74, 75. Him and my brother, he's still like my brother's in his late 60s. They're still working, and it's not that my brother hasn't tried to retire. He's told his boss he's been retired since he was 65, but his boss just keeps paying him and keeps expecting him to show up for work. So my brother, it's these 2 old farts out there wiring, running trenching equipment and wiring up these airport lighting systems because nobody else knows how to do it anymore.
Well, Bob, since you're getting the divorce anyway, you might as well just go ahead and become his lover.
Yep.
Your brother's boss.
Oh no, he's got a wife.
That's okay.
No, it's not. No, I mean he's a cool dude. But he's like, him and I were just different ages, so we never really. I was into Dodges too, and he's the solid Ford man, and I was really into Dodges, and I used to really give him the gears about it, and so yeah.
On road, Dad.
Used to call him. My dad used to call him, right? Because my dad called him Stinky. And it stuck, right? So everybody started calling him Stinky. He fucking hated that name.
Well,
and every time I'd see him, I'd call him Stinky because that's what my dad always talked about him, and my brother talked about him under that name, and it was just like, well, that's his name. But you call him that to his face, and you'd just be like, oh. My dad could get away with it, but he didn't think much of this kid calling him that.
But nicknames stick. The nicknames that stick are the ones that you hate.
Yeah.
You just gotta accept them and go with them. Roll.
Yeah, well, the Biker Bob name, I hated when that girl started calling me that. But after a while, everybody started calling me that, and it was like,
doesn't bother you.
Fuck.
You can be called worse shit.
Yeah, it's my alias.
It's better than Biker Tim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or Biker Bitch.
Bill. Biker Bill sounds like somebody who would be hanging out around school grounds.
With the
girl want to go for a ride.
Biker Dick.
Biker Chris? Oh, that'd be bad.
No, it's the Biker Dick.
Oh, Biker Dick.
How's it going, Steven?
Oh. So,
my buddy, his daughter started dating a guy, and the guy's name was Randy Dick. And I just went, man, if my daughter ever starts wanting to date somebody named Randy Dick, he'd better damn well be willing to change his name. Because, I'm not having a Randy Dick dating my daughter.
You'd rather have somebody named Gaylord Fokker?
Gaylord Falker, yeah.
Fokker.
Yeah.
Hey, made an airplane.
That's true. Made more than one.
Oh, come on. Ben Stiller's character, Gaylord Fokker. I can't think of the name of the
movie.
The movie, but yeah.
Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers. Yeah. There we go.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, pretty strange movie.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I don't like a lot of his movies, but some of them are okay.
No, by far his best movie is Mystery Men.
Yeah, Mr. Angry.
Mr. Furious. Yeah, Mr. Furious.
Furious, whatever, yeah.
I mean, at the time, that was an all-star cast, really.
Oh, yeah. I like the Shoveler. He was just my favorite character. He was so earnest.
Let's see, they had, what's the name of that? Gina Garofalo.
Mr. Flagellants. Wasn't that Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah, that's Pee Wee Herman. Then they had Hank Azaria as the Blue Raja.
Mm-hmm. Who
Uh,
threw forks, not knives, forks.
Forks, yeah. And he threw his spoon once.
Yeah, because forks were offensive.
But if you guys have not seen Mystery Men and you wanna, and you're into the superhero movies, it is definitely a spoof on the superhero movies.
And very funny.
It's extremely funny.
Yeah.
Yep, the Invisible Boy.
Oh yes, who was only invisible if you weren't watching him.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was naked. If he was naked and you weren't watching him, he was invisible.
But who was that? I'm trying to remember his name because he's a singer.
It was a black dude. That's all I remember. Lenny Kravitz? No.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz was in that.
Was he?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the Invisible Boy's name. It was a one-word name too.
Dracula?
No,
Blackula?
didn't he do the thong song?
Thong song?
Yes,
I've never heard the thong song.
dude.
That was, wow, I'm a product of the 90s. Oh, man, I should know that.
Oh, product of
Cisco.
Leo, Cisco.
Cisco, that's
I was
it.
thinking Nelly, but I knew it wasn't Nelly. Yeah, couldn't think of it.
It's Cisco, yeah. Hey, Dan, are you still out there?
Yeah, he's there.
Guess not.
He's there, but he's just not at the computer.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if he decided on his M44 or not.
Mm.
I think he's going for the K31.
You know,
Oh,
I would.
okay.
I'm just gonna buy something for a range gun to piss around with. Like I got
Oh,
Mosin because everybody said buy a Mosin, but yeah.
Well, it was a couple days ago they were talking about it, and I'm sitting over here looking at classic firearms, and I have one in my shopping cart, and I'm like, do I want to do it? But then I can't find surplus ammo for it.
Mm.
I was wrong.
75?
The
His
what?
name is Kel Mitchell, the black guy. I had to look it up, but
Okay. The ammo
I don't know what's this
7.55 for those K31s, right?
Yeah, 7.5 by 5.5.
Yeah. So that's an odd ammo. But you can find it surplus. I know we can get it here.
Yeah. Not going
but,
to cheap vendor.
It's not cheap. It's not like Russian
No, it's not.
Mosin ammo or something like that. Actually, rather than shoot my Mosin, I'd rather shoot my SVT-40 because it's actually a precision gun.
A 480 round case for $239.
That's not bad.
No.
Not for K31. And I mean, you're gonna really enjoy shooting. It's a good caliber. It's actually a good hunting caliber.
And it's not like I'm going to go out and shoot 500 rounds or 800 rounds every time I go either. It's going to be one of those I pull out once, twice a year.
Maybe. Depends how much you like. I mean, I shoot my SVT-40 probably every month.
Yeah. Well, I don't shoot my Mosins every month just because I don't feel like cleaning them.
Yeah, I know. You wanna have a hassle is clean that SVT-40. That's why I don't shoot ammo in it. I shoot non-corrosive commercial ammo, and it's it's not that expensive.
all right, now I know what I was thinking of Cisco was actually Get Over It was the name of the movie that had Kirsten Dunst in it.
Get
Here's
over
my
it.
Yes,
No,
I get black
over.
people confused when they're actors,
Okay.
and they dye their hair blonde.
So you're saying you're racist and you just don't want to admit it.
No, it's just they look alike.
All black
To quote
people
Bob.
work. That kind of is a racist comment. I'm just saying.
I just said I'm quoting Bob because they look alike.
Oh, please.
That was a blonde hair that was throwing me off.
Oh. Never mind. Yeah. Shitty. It's been actually nice weather here. It was -3 Celsius. It's only 3 degrees below freezing. So I mean, took the dog to the dog park for like 2 hours as I followed him around, and he found this other golden doodle that was actually black. It was very weird. But they played like, I think the one loop of the dog park's a kilometer, so I did about 3 kilometers, and the dogs just played and played, and then that last half kilometer or so, my dog was just like, Emmett was just like, okay, I'm fucking done, and this other dog was just like, no, let's play, grab him by the ear and try pull him, try trip him, shit like that, and he was just exhausted. He was like, fucking leave me alone, okay? But yeah, he was kind of glad to leave the dog park at that point.
Yeah.
All right, I just read. I just want to see what Edge's topic was could be tonight. I'm not going to have a horse in this race, but he's saying sig brace is now illegal.
Yes, you cannot shoulder it anymore.
Really?
FBI made FBI made a ruling today, and
The FBI did.
sorry, ATF. My bad. ATF made a ruling and said shouldering it makes it an SPR. So Mac is like, or was it Mac or someone else said it? So if shouldering a SIG arm brace makes it an SBR, what about shouldering an AR pistol without a SIG brace? Because you still need it. Because how you shoot it should not matter if it's a rifle or pistol. I mean, I'm sorry, if it's a pistol, how you shoot a pistol doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can lay down on your back and hook it over a foot and shoot it 150 yards. You know.
Well, that's just like, Bob. Whenever you get your Blackhawk, if you put that the grip up to your shoulder and shoot it, it's not going to be a rifle or an SBR.
No, it'd fucking hurt and probably powder burn your face, but.
All I just gotta say is repealgunlaws.com, because laws like this are so freaking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's not a law. It's something that ATF is just going to be like, okay, it's now illegal.
Well, our RCMP
That makes that makes it a law. If it's illegal, it's a law.
Oh, I know, but the ATF shouldn't have the authority to do that. All right, hey, I told Cork I was going to jump onto his at quarter till, so I'm gonna.
No, you mean you told Edge?
Yes, sorry. I don't know why. I have no idea why I get those two confused.
Really? Because they're really different. One's like really pale white and roly-poly, kind of like the Stay Puft Man, and the other one's like I guess he's like a Mexican Stay Puft Man. He's like slightly.
Well, yeah, I mean,
already.
One has facial hair, one can't grow facial hair.
Well, I mean, Edge is slightly baked already, and Quark's underdone. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know why those are two people that I always get crossed. I don't know why. Because you're both bald, probably.
Edge isn't bald.
He isn't? Shit.
No.
All right, talk to you guys later.
All right, bye. I'm going to jump too. If I can exit the... No.
No problem.
See you later.
Yeah, that's stupid law.
Which law would that be?
Yeah. Well, did you see the article on repealgunlaws.com, Dano? What the Kentucky representative?
No.
No. I'll see if I can pull up the link for you.
I'm going over there now. But
Well, I was going to post this, but GQ beat me to it. And they post this, what was it? U.S. Representative Mossy proposes repeal of federal gun-free school zone act.
What state is he out of?
Kentucky.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like certainly in the lines of what we're trying, speaking just for myself, of something that if somebody already has, an idea.
Get our support behind him.
Yeah.
In other words,
I mean,
I
I don't care.
Don't have a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot watching this now, but when they may watch this later, contact your representative of your district and tell him to support, or her to support, Thomas Mossy, Republican from Kentucky, in the H.R. 86 bill, the Safe Student Act.
Yes.
That will repeal gun-free school zones. And I know I'm preaching to the choir with a whole lot of you out there, but gun-free means killing zone.
Means victim zone.
Yeah.
If you want to know where to find easy victims, find the gun-free zone, because then you have it.
Yes, and this bill was originally introduced by Ron Paul. So it's definitely something that has been tried before. So if we can get behind him and get this passed, that's a big step in getting stupid gun laws off the books.
Well, and it also reaches into talk about something that has an immediate impact on our public safety. Getting rid of, gun-free zones, as many as we can, and we'll start where we can, is something that immediately improves safety in that area. I think we ought to get rid of them all, but that's not possible. I understand that. So as many as we can get rid of should certainly be had.
Right. Now, I'm just going to quote him because he seems to understand us pro-gun guys. This is a quote from Mossy. Gun-free school zones are ineffective. They make people less safe by inviting criminals into target-rich, no-risk environments. Gun-free zones prevent law-abiding citizens from protecting themselves and create vulnerable positions that are targeted by criminals. And also, here's another quote. A bigger federal government can't solve this problem. Weapon bans and gun-free zones are unconstitutional. They do not and cannot prevent criminals or the mentally ill from committing acts of violence, but they often prevent victims of such violence from protecting themselves.
And let me just throw in something, at least this is not from the article, but as most of us know, it's more common than not that the offender will most likely be either a student or an ex-student of that school. So that person, if they're not already directly allowed in, it's not like some stranger coming to the school. At least they're familiar with the building in detail. So even if, no matter what you do in regards to more bolted doors and stuff like that, they're going to know where all that stuff is. So I mean, not that those things shouldn't be done, but we continue to do nothing on the proactive side of safety. Just the passive act of safety is all we seem to do. Let's show students how to, in a non-panicked way, run out of the building and where they're supposed to congregate. Now, that's a good idea, but that's just the beginning. That's not where it should end. But unfortunately, that's exactly where it ends today, as far as what schools do, as far as planning for a gunman coming into their school.
Well, here's what the teacher's options are. You lock them into your classroom, and then if you're lucky that your classroom has a closet, you lock them in the closet, and then you shield them with your body.
Yeah, that's and to me that's a skeleton of a plan. That's not a plan.
That's
I
what a
mean,
lot
I
of
can
schools
understand
have.
that as far as that's something that the kids themselves can do. Okay, that might be step one. But while step one is in effect, whether it be the teacher, the janitor, a support worker in the front office, or maybe a combination of them on a voluntary basis, uh, get what the community feels would be adequate in regards to um, training, and that would be determined by each community, as they should determine their own wants and needs. Whether that's a lot or whether that's very little, it should be up to the community, and and give them a chance to defend themselves. You can't
Well, not
defend
only
them in Washington.
not only a chance to defend themselves, but to defend the children there.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, Washington can't protect your school.
No.
Only the people in the school, when evil steps in, can do anything about it. And if all you do is give them some keys and maybe a mop, there's nothing anybody can do.
Right. And sadly, teachers have acted as human shields. Because they had no other option.
Right.
Their other option was to run away and become a coward. And I hand it to those those poor souls that use themselves as shields, because they weren't given another option.
Right. I mean, they were certainly very brave. I would like to see them being given, for those that are brave enough to take that step, make them have options, not have that be their only option.
Yeah, exactly. If they were concealed carrying, at least they'd have a fighting chance. That's all I can ask. And the reason I say this is, when you unarm anybody, and Papa John's, we talked about this at the start of the chat, doesn't allow the employees to carry. But one of the delivery drivers, she made the choice of carrying, and it saved her life. And Papa John's isn't firing her for it, which is amazing on Papa John's. But if she would have followed Papa John's rules, she could very well be dead today.
Yeah, there's a saying, and I'm not saying it's appropriate to everything, but sometimes it's better or easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission.
Yeah, and I'm going to be editing this chat here because that is going to be starting up in just a couple minutes. But I want to say, for those that haven't heard about Papa John's and not firing the employee for defending her own life, go check that article out. There are plenty of places that are talking about it online. Go out and buy yourself a Papa John's pizza, and let the manager know why you're buying a Papa John's pizza. Maybe if enough of us can get in there and tell managers, tell the company why you bought a pizza, that they'll change their policy. They'll let their delivery drivers carry. Because changing, we can change the company if enough of us go in there and support them and tell them why we're supporting them. Don't let Moms Demand Action, grab all the headlines. Got anything to add, Dano?
I was just going to say that there's many ways to help promote positive change, and supporting companies like this with your dollars and your words, because if it's just your dollars, they won't get the message. You have to tell them, and make sure it's the manager, not just the worker at the register. You have to talk to the manager and tell them I'm coming here with my money to show my support for what they did in regards to supporting their pizza delivery driver.
And I think it was Decanter, Georgia. And if you want to, save your receipt, call up the company and tell them this is my order number. I ordered this pizza because, you didn't fire the employee from, saving her, by saving, you didn't fire the employee for saving her own life. Something along those lines, and just get it out there. So, with that, night everybody. Thanks for watching.
See you soon.